it's not, you're not trying to play the gender card. So I think if you just open your mind up and see, hey, I should get that job because I really deserve it, not because I'm going to play the woman card that, hey, men have better facilities or better opportunities. The minute you stop doing that, you're not feeding nonsense to yourself. You're not getting into that self-pity zone, into victimizing yourself and seeing, nahi, men have better opportunities, because I'm a woman. Maybe you just weren't good enough, in all honesty. That comes with a lot of acceptance. Sorry, and just one thing, when you spoke about the role of, movies, in fact, it's also very business related. At the end of the day, if my film, because we manage talent as well besides producing film, if today one of my newer actors is getting to co-star, whether it's equal or not, I can't debate on the script yet, but if it's a better known actor, then, and he can demand a certain price because he's delivered a performance, not just because, oh, he's an actor, but because he's delivered hits, he's justified to get paid more. So I'm saying in those cases, you have to be practical, and it could happen the reverse way as well. I have new actors that are male, and they could get a role with a woman who's far more popular, and she will be paid more. So there's no grudge about that, which is, I think, the point she was trying to make.
No, Rajkumar Rao is my student from FTI, and I've heard these stories. So no debate about that. I want to talk about something a little different. I want to talk about social conditioning. Generations, tens of thousands of years of social. So my friends would get shocked that I'm a house husband, in spite of having 2 master's degrees and done whatever I've done. When Maharshi Karve married a widow, the women in his gully stood in line to spit on him because he'd married a widow. So sometimes women are their worst enemies.
I agree.
I think that's something.
I want to add quickly, I know we're running short time, but yesterday I had a student interview me 2-3 days ago, and they were talking for their magazine, and he said to me, off the records, I want to ask you a question. I said, sure. He said, my mom always said that women bosses are horrible. They are like really, really bad to work with, so whenever you get a job, don't work with her. So I said, that is a stereotype. And that is a stereotype that we need to break, and like Daria said, by changing ourselves. Yeah, unless we change, that stereotype's not going to break. And this whole thing about women being women's worst enemies, I haven't experienced it because I've created an environment around me to facilitate that. So if I as a leader have set a good example, the other leaders who are women are expected to set that example. And we have had women who are HODs who have been horrible to their staff. And I have called them on it, like she said. So it's important that you make that change and change that stereotype. And changing stereotypes is never easy. It is always going to take some time. It's going to take. But if people like us can learn it.
I really like. Yeah, I've had too much to talk about it, I think, in the past. But I think it was very liberating for me, and I think I'm a very different person. I think post my article also, I didn't expect the article to be like an All India edition. When I did the interview with Renuka, who's also a friend of mine from college, she's a very well-known correspondent from the Bombay Times, and she's known me all her life. And she just came home and she just chatted about it. And I think one thing led to another, and I didn't even realize that so many things had happened with me as an actor, as a woman. And it was just so liberating for me to just talk to her about it. She took about 2 weeks before she published, 2 or 3 weeks, I think I'd forgotten also about the interview. 3 weeks ke baad, I think she published the article, and she sent me the article on email, and she was like, just proofread it. And I remember I was in Lucknow shooting for Rangbaz. That day it was an off day, and Lucknow is my hometown. So it was really like a full circle for me. And it really had started with me being molested by, a cousin of mine in Lucknow when I was a child. And I didn't speak about it for years because I just didn't realize that it was not my fault. And I kept thinking that it's my fault, that I let him touch me, or I let these things happen to me. So, although you may think that, oh, I'm such a fearless, confident girl out there in Bombay, surviving, working every day, there are lots of things that happen, in the past that you allow things to happen, and those things lead to who you really become in your professional space. And I think the minute I began the article with first accepting my fault, I said, yes, I was a different person a few years ago, and I would not want to be that person for the rest of my life, because I want to lead by example. I want to be able to be that person in the film industry who came out of nowhere, got educated, came into the films, is working on her own terms, is not ready to sleep for roles, is not ready to be okay with parties, and I'm not absolutely be ready to, let somebody walk all over me as a human being. So that's the stand I took. So I think it really did, and I think I realized that through speaking about it, I have really liberated myself as a human being. Forget woman, man, this can happen to any of us. It happens to men, and it's such a deep conditioning, sir, because the guys just don't speak about it all their lives. Imagine like some boy who was molested at a younger age by a bus conductor or by a school teacher, by uncles living in those houses, and the conditioning, and I really have to thank my film, because that film really changed my conversations. It changed the way I look at another human being. It can be man, woman, anybody. And these conversations happened through all our panels because there were 5 women sitting in that panel and everybody had a point of view and none of them were wrong, whether it was a 20-year-old Prabhata or like a 50-plus-year-old Ratna Pathak Shah or an Alankrita who was sitting there. Everybody had stories. And all of us realized that we are all in the same boat and there's absolutely no reason why we are pulling each other down. Whether you're a man, woman, anybody, transgender, everybody's been through shit. So let's not try to put more shit into other people's faces. The good thing is that there is a conversation right now. There is an awareness, there's a realization. So you take a stand. Today I know that tomorrow if I go into this meeting with this director has the power to molest me or to say something that will harass me. But I have the choice, tell him, thank you sir, I do not want this meeting to be continuing. I'm okay. You do not want to give me this film, it's fine. But I have the right to walk out of this house right now because your conversations are making me uncomfortable. So I think that is very important and that's a stand one needs to take for themselves. So I don't judge anybody for whatever that they have done in their lives or how they want to facilitate their careers.
So like Daria, you said, you have to introspect and take responsibility. Do we have time? Are we finished? Wrap up? 5 more minutes? Fantastic. Daria.
I have a friend, he's quite famous actor, and after all this happened with Me Too, he's like a lover boy, everyone knows in the industry, and he loves women, and he loves sleeping with them, but he's very irresponsible. He thinks so. And so after that happened, he just told me, you know what, I just stopped texting women, and I stopped meeting women because I have now fear, what if she will misinterpret what I'm doing? So what should I do? I'm like, amazing, that's great, I can't help you. I'm very happy for all these women, And so I think that's important that you start thinking 5 million times before sending idiotic message or I don't know, dick pic to someone.
Absolutely.
And,
But there are 2 sides to it, Daria. There are 2 sides to it. And Meghna knows this. I was accused of sexual harassment. And Meghna knows nothing happened. But what it did to me was devastating.
yeah, but see,
It was
it's
devastating
like,
because it changed the way I interact with people. I am a very open person and I was socialized. 20 years I lived in the US. I give warm hugs and she said, so you need to step back. It is horrendous. Both sides, whether it happens to you or you're accused falsely of something like that.
I think that, to sum it up a little bit, because I think Rikita is already on the mic, the Me Too movement has really swung a certain way, right? And it's that force that it's swung with, that there will be collateral damage. There will be collateral damage, it's like a revolution. So there will be collateral damage for men, for women, for families who are involved, and that's something that we have to go through again to break a certain stereotype. And it's happened, and it's great that it's happened. To a large extent, that people are more conscious. I feel there is collateral damage in the fact that men can't be men, or they have to be different around women. Now, like after all their lives of being a certain way, they have to change, but it's okay. It's not going to kill them. Nothing's going to
big difference. When I came to Bombay, people were showing me, so don't come to this man, don't come to this old man.
The stereotypes are already
forward, or because they will hit on you. And I'm like, okay, so it means it's fine. Now, I know that it's not fine. The fact that he's pervert or he will hit me, it's not fine. And I know, yes, I can't, I'm not the one who will be writing letters in the newspaper because it doesn't work for me. But I know all I can do, I just have a list of people with whom I just will not work.
Correct. Absolutely.
I'll make a point not to work with them.
Okay, we have to finish, but before that, you were talking about lipstick under my burqa. If you guys haven't seen it, go see that film. Not just because of
sure they have.
Ahana, but it sort of wraps up a lot of the things we've been talking about here today. Thank you all very much. I'm sure she's going to thank everybody.
Thank you, ladies, and thank you, Somnath. I would like to request Mr. Sachidanand Shetty, the business head for Mukta A2 Cinemas,
there's been no I mean एक बैरियर नहीं बनाना चाहिए because आजकल you know हमारे पास audiences हैं जो English भी देखते हैं, हिंदी भी देखते हैं, there's a regional audience also. So I think it's just across all boards the film industry and I think हमारे जो panelists थे सब different industries से आते हैं. Shanti is a producer, you know, Mukta runs a film school, is a you know is successfully running you know these chains of theaters out here. There is Daria, who's a filmmaker. I'm an actor, so I think everybody had a point of view. Everybody, you know, सबके पास एक opinion है, एक voice है, and I think it's really nice कि actually in panels के through हम लोग की education भी हो जाती है क्योंकि sometimes as actors हमें पता नहीं कि you know what as a producer a woman is facing or as a educator what a woman is facing or as a filmmaker what a woman is facing. So I think these panel discussions for me have always been very enriching because मुझे सबकी बातें सुनने के लिए मिलती हैं and I always realize कि it's not easy for any of us. So let's not like you know try to box ourselves and be like कि भाई हम actors हैं तो बस हमारे लिए problems हैं. I think problems सबके लिए आती हैं चाहे आप आदमी हैं औरत हैं and I think that was what I think I heard through this panel today.
I think for me the most important thing at this discussion is that we just need to realize what we can change. All of us, we know our problems. All of us were facing issues and harassment, but question is now I'm in a slightly different situation. Now I can take decisions. So what I can contribute in changing our industry.
I couldn't agree more with her. I think charity begins at home. So you don't need to go out there and make big changes. Start with yourself, start with your team, start ghar pe, start small, but make that change, yeah? It will become easier for everybody because you had a difficult time. Make sure कि दूसरे और को आप ये difficult time और आसान कर दें उनके लिए. Just because you had a tough time, make it easier for somebody else because you know how it is to be in that place where it's a struggle.
बता तो दिया मैंने आपको और इससे ज़्यादा क्या बताऊँगी. देखिए किसी के लिए भी आसान नहीं होता है और ये मैंने एज शी सेड कि चैरिटी बिगिंस एट होम. ये सब चीज़ें घर पे घटनाएं घटती हैं चाहे आप लड़का हो या लड़की हो. कई बार हमारे खुद के कज़न्स, हमारे खुद के अंकल्स, हमारे खुद की आंटीज़ कई बार ऐसी चीज़ें करती हैं जो आपको स्कार करके छोड़ देती हैं बचपन में और कभी कभी आप उस गिल्ट के थ्रू पूरी ज़िंदगी जी लेते हैं. बहुत लोग ऐसे भी होते हैं जिनको आई फील एज एक्टर्स वी आर सो लकी दैट मेरे पास एक इमोशनल वेंट है. मतलब जब मैं स्टेज पे जाती हूँ तो मेरे लिए एक इमोशनल सीन है तो अगर मान लीजिए मेरे पास कोई ऐसी इमोशनल मेमोरी है जिसको मैं सोच के यू नो आई कैन डू दैट सीन. इट्स रियली आई फील ब्लेस्ड दैट आई हैव अ प्लेस आई कैन वेंट इट आउट. इमेजिन आप एक ऐसे प्रोफेशन में हैं जहाँ पर आप कोई अपना इमोशन ही नहीं दिखा सकते हैं. सो हाउ डज इट फील टू बी लाइक दैट? यू नो आई रियली टेल यू कि इट्स बीन अ ट्रू ब्लेसिंग फॉर मी दैट मैं इतनी बार किसी कोई ऐसा सीन कर रही हूँ जहाँ पर मुझे लाइक आई हैव टू बी एन इमोशनल wreck एंड आई गो बैक टू अ मेमोरी विच हैज़ मेड मी फील सो बैड अबाउट माई सेल्फ और सो बैड अबाउट कि ये मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों हुआ. बट मैंने उसको सोच के आई डिड दैट सीन एंड यू नो आई थिंक समवेयर आई वेंटेड इट आउट. बट आप वो सोचें कि कितने लोग ऐसे होते हैं जैसे डॉक्टर्स या इंजीनियर्स या लॉयर्स जो अपने इमोशंस दिखा ही नहीं सकते. पुलिस वाली औरतें जो होती हैं उन लोगों को हमेशा एक स्ट्रिक्ट एक स्टर्न आउटलुक रखना पड़ता है, तो उन लोगों की लाइफ में, सबकी लाइफ में प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं। आप सोचिए आदमियों की लाइफ में क्या प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं। लड़के तो रो भी नहीं सकते क्योंकि बचपन से ये बोला जाता है यू आर अ बॉय, यू आर नॉट सपोज टू क्राई। लड़के हो, लड़की हो, जैसे क्यों रो रहे हो। तो क्योंकि मेरा 2 साल का नेफ्यू है, तो अब हम लोग ने उसको वो बोलना ही बंद कर दिया। हम लोग से बोलते ही नहीं है वो, बिकॉज समवेयर वी आर अवेयर दैट वी शुड नॉट से थिंग्स लाइक डोंट क्राई। अब उसको आंसू आ रहे हैं तो वो रोएगा, बच्चा है वो। आप बचपन से ये फीड मत करिए दिमाग में कि तुम लड़के हो तो तुम रो नहीं सकते हो, तुम लड़की हो तो तुम ये ऐसे नहीं बैठ सकती हो। आई थिंक अ ह्यूमन बीइंग शुड बी अलाउड टू बी फ्री फ्रॉम दैट चाइल्डहुड, एंड आई थिंक दैट्स व्हाट आई हैव लर्नड थ्रू ऑल माई एक्सपीरियंसेस, एंड आई होप आई कैन जस्ट कंटिन्यू टू डू दिस विद द यंगर जनरेशन एंड द जनरेशंस टू कम। मेरे पास बहुत ऐसी औरतें, बट मेरी माँ और मेरी बहन मेरे दो सबसे बड़ी इंस्पिरेशंस है। मेरी माँ पुलिस वाली हैं, 3 बच्चों को झेला है उन्होंने, और and 3 kids, and I tell you we are not easy kids. So, and I'm sure Meghna and Shanti know with kids it's never going to be easy. So it's not easy to have children, and so my mother, who's an officer, has served in the police for 40 years and has had a lucrative career. Today she can at least look back and say कि at least मैंने घर पे इन तीनों के पीछे अपनी लाइफ नहीं बर्बाद की. I've had, and all of them are working women, and I'm sure all of them resonate with the same voice. To be able to leave your child. आज सुबह जब मैं कैब से आ रही थी आज, I was talking to my sister. My sister she's in a perfume business, so she's a perfumer. But at the age of हमारा 2 साल का nephew है, लेकिन for her to like just leave the baby, go to work, come back and do her gym, वो एक major fitness freak है. तो उसको इतना फैसिलिटेटिंग, उसने अपनी लाइफ इतनी एनरिचिंग कर रखी है कि उसको ये लगता है कि भाई अगर मैं अपने बच्चे के पीछे पूरी लाइफ ख़राब कर दूंगी, तो व्हेन आई एम 80 और व्हेन आई एम 60 आई विल हैव टू लुक बैक एंड बी लाइक मैंने क्या किया अपनी लाइफ के साथ. सो आई थिंक इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर ऑल वुमेन टू बी एबल टू हैव अ लाइफ, अ फैमिली, a husband, have problems with all the family members, and to be able to run a full-time career. So
at the same time I want to add to that कि आना जो कह रही है about working women, बहुत सारी जो औरतें जो काम कर रही हैं वो बच्चा पैदा करने से पहले 10 बार सोचती हैं आजकल, बिकॉज वो बोलती हैं वो जस्टिस नहीं कर पाएंगी, गिल्टी फील करती हैं. मैं उनसे ये कहना चाहूँगी कि मेरे 2 बच्चे हैं. मेरी बेटी 3 महीने की थी जब से मैंने काम शुरू किया, वो मेरे साथ ऑफिस में आती थी, आहना नोस. जो उनके आँखों में आपके लिए प्राइड होती है वो किसी के आंखों में नहीं मिलती आपको. जो आपके बच्चे देखते हैं कि मेरी माँ काम करती है, मेरी माँ घर संभालती है, जब हमें ज़रूरत है वो हमारे लिए होती है, you are being a role model for them. So please, my appeal to all working women is, or working women who want to have babies, don't stop yourself. I'm telling you, हम औरतों में एक सुपर पावर होता है जो हम मैनेज कर लेते हैं, और वो जो बच्चों के लिए हम रोल मॉडल बनते हैं, जैसे आहना की मम्मी उनके लिए रोल मॉडल है, वो उससे ज़्यादा आपको क्या पुरस्कार चाहिए, आपको क्या अवार्ड चाहिए.
सॉरी, किसके लिए? अरे कैप्टन अभिनंदन तो अभी हीरो है, उनको
अभिनंदन की माँ उससे बड़ी है,
उनकी माँ विमेंस डे की. तो बेसिकली आई मीन आई थिंक लाइक वी शुड नॉट टेक अवे फ्रॉम द फैक्ट कि उनके पेरेंट्स इतने काम रहे थ्रू दिस होल थिंग. आई मीन किसी का भी बच्चा अगर सरहद पार जाता है, आई थिंक टू बी एबल टू शो दैट काइंड ऑफ करेज एंड वैलर, आपकी अपब्रिंगिंग वो रियली शो करता है, एंड आई थिंक आई हैव टू गिव इट टू हिज पेरेंट्स. भैया वॉर होगा तो हमारे घर टूटेंगे, वॉर नहीं होनी चाहिए. देयर रियली शुडंट बी एनी वॉर. इनफैक्ट इट वाज सो वियर्ड बिकॉज जस्ट आई थिंक जब ये कैप्टन अभिनंदन का, जब विंग कमांडर अभिनंदन का ये पूरा इशू स्टार्ट हुआ, समवेयर आई वेंट एट होम दैट नाइट एंड वेंट लाइक कि व्हाट इफ देयर इज अ वॉर, व्हाट विल हैपन टू आवर चिल्ड्रन. And I think now because we have a child at home, I suddenly don't think about कि हमारे साथ क्या होगा. I go like कि हमारे बच्चों का क्या होगा, So मेरे thoughts ही I think पूरे बदल गए हैं, and I really don't want it because अभी तो मतलब there are kids. I mean for heaven's sake, do it for the children,
No, I agree with her. Yeah, we have to just be better people and make this country better. We have the opportunity to do that. We have the opportunity to teach the right things. So I think we should work towards that.